this is not a school.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a school. Just be free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the first day, I had difficulties to communicate in Russian, and the second day,
To live in Russian. You know?
But English is now not just important, more than important.
If you want to learn if you want to improve your speaking, you can improve your speaking by speaking.
Know how to do speaking, how to just do listening.
Hello. Welcome to our Achieve Learning Center. Now we will start our speaking club. Well, we have guests in here, and he is Mr. Shukrat, teacher of World Language University, and also we have one guest, the name Mr. Abbas. He's also a student of World Language University. As you know, my name is Yadgar, as usual. Well, what kind of topic do we have right now? And do you have any ideas?
yeah, we have lots of topics that should be discussed. So I think that English is important for everyone. So I think the topic should be why we need English.
Yeah,
I think this is one interesting
cool.
topic
Yes.
for everyone.
What do you think?
Yes, I'm sure that why English is important. I can just use here one joke. Why English is important? Because we're talking in English. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
important right now, right?
Good job.
Yeah.
Because English gives us more opportunities. Nowadays, if you learn English, if you know English, you can get a
Yeah.
high salary as well.
Job.
Yes.
Occupation.
Yeah, occupation as well.
Yes. Also,
yeah.
English is also like world language, right?
Yeah.
All the documents and all the information that we can get easily
Yeah.
by English.
Yeah. For example, I'm doing my research, but in Uzbek, I cannot find relevant articles. Relevant books. It should be very difficult. So at the time, I just only search information in English. We have lots of information that should be relevant for my research. It's very important for everyone. As well as I suggest another PhD candidates to find any articles, books to their research.
Yes, exactly. I'm on the same page with you because you know that English is now not just important, more than important. Because if you don't know the English, you cannot find a proper job.
Yeah.
You cannot just go to traveling in other countries. If you know the language, you can understand the only just countries, people, but also their nation, their culture, their tradition, and everything. So you know the attention also in Uzbekistan, which is just to the English, is increasing. I cannot say year by year, maybe month by month. Here I can give one big example for just Yodgar Beg, because last year he was also just student and then studied with us together, but this year he decided to open the education center here.
Yeah.
It's proud to him, also to us, because it's not all about teaching the students, it's about giving knowledge to other students, to be knowledgeable, to be enough and proper student, or just maybe taking just guys who knows the English, right? If you want to search the internet, you can find everything in English, not Uzbek language, not the French or German. English is dominant right now.
Yeah, this is really common. For example, I also visited Turkey 2 times in last summer. As you can see on my Instagram, that in every place, like in Antalya or in Istanbul, I didn't have any kind of problem because I know the language, and when you learn like language, or especially the English, it is more useful and easy to travel anywhere. You know about the Turkey, the main language is not English, but everybody knows English in the air, because as you said, it's also like touristic place, especially the Istanbul. Like every person, like every citizen in Turkey knows English.
Yes.
It is too easy, and I can solve any problem with my anything with my problems.
Yeah, actually English is very common in Europe, but Central Asia countries, people, they were not interested in learning English a couple of years ago. And also I had some students right now, they are businessmen and business ladies. And also they're gonna travel to another Asian countries like Turkmenistan, Kazakhstan, and Kyrgyzstan. And also they say me always, previous years, maybe a couple of years ago, I always needed Russian. But right now it should be required to learn English. So they are learning English. It's also one very important thing for them. For example, if you're gonna talk to someone, they need English instead of Russian, because English kind of very simple language, is a very soft language. You can easily communicate with people. I mean, the very short sentence, for example, I think this is very important for everyone, as well as travelers or educators and every people.
And then now many I cannot say the young learners, middle-aged people have difficulties to learn the English. What do you think? How
middle-aged people, right?
Yes, right. Yes. How can you overcome these kind of problems? Because they always just says to me, how can I just learn English without difficulties? And I said, it's impossible. Everything has ups and downs. So you should be flexible and tolerant if you want to learn English. But I know that you're working in this sphere, and then how it would be easier.
No, I have an idea about it. Like as you said, the people who are over 35, right?
Yeah.
35.
They used to live in Russian. The Soviet Union. They used to speak in Russian, and they know only the structures in Russian. Like when you speak Russian words, they can easily understand. But when you say them in English, they have a problem. And also at that time, they will appear in difficulties while learning English. Yes, this is my answer to your question.
It can be one the solution. No, it can be one
reason
example or the reason of the situation. I think that, for example, in my classes, I want my students should feel free in my classes. I mean, they should be very confident in the class. For example, some teachers don't allow them to drink water, maybe to use mobile phones, everything. But in my classes, all my students, they can do everything in class because because it's English, because it's learning English, it's a teaching language. At the time, everybody should be free. Yes. For example, in my classes, some students, they don't sit, they can walk. They can sing a song. They can sit on the desk. They can do everything.
I have watched it from your videos on Instagram.
Because in this time, they're gonna feel free, and also they always share their ideas. So, for example, maybe with some mistakes, maybe some posts and everything, some difficulties, but day by day, maybe after some time, they should be very professional in this field, because it's language. I mean that you have to create English atmosphere. The atmosphere is not just only decorating, it's not just only using technologies. It should be very real communication, real English should be. For example, imagine if you have one topic, let's say shopping. We're gonna discuss about some vocabulary. We're gonna have some questions about the shopping, but students just only use this vocab in your class. Out of the class, they don't use this real word. They cannot improve their English. So at that time, you have to create very real situation like this. For example, students bring some products, some things. In a lesson, we have to create shopping or the market. Some of them gonna buy, some of them gonna sell. It's also a real situation. At the time, they're gonna use real English and the real atmosphere. It's also one topic for it can be there. You have to create very real life.
Creative atmosphere, right, for the students.
Yes.
Exactly. I liked your method because feeling free is everything. When the students are free, they always try to speak more. For example, but I have some teacher in the university, I don't want to tell their exact names, because if I'm mistaken, just 1 month ago, I decided to make one presentation, and then the presentation was excellent, but after presented my presentation, the teacher said to me, your mark is 4. What? 4? Why not 5? He said to me 4. Alright, just can you tell me mistakes? She said to me, you made some pronunciation mistake. Teacher came to me, what is the name of our lesson? He said to me, the lesson is writing and reading. That's okay, but my mistake is here pronunciation. Why you're just giving me 4? He said to me, you made mistake. You said develop. You should say develop.
Yeah.
All right, that's good. But teacher should be always flexible, as you mentioned before. If you always mention your students' mistake, they don't want to speak in as a next time.
Yeah. That's really correct. Yes.
So I said, okay, but next lesson, my inspiration, my just interest to the lesson, I thought that already died before.
I'm done with it, right? I'm done with it.
So that was great, and I said my teacher, all right, that's good, you're right, I'm student, but the mission of the teacher also help in order to correct your mistakes.
Yeah.
It's not all about, oh right, stand up, you're making mistake, all right, stand up, it's not.
Yes.
You're a teacher, we are student. You just tell, and then next lesson we'll try do our best. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. For example, as you said, I also have students more than 30. I just opened my center about 3 months ago. Yeah, I also like your method, and I also use your method. Because, for example, I always say them, but just listen. I'm not gonna messing with education ministry, but I always tell my students, like, this is not a school. This is not a school. Just be free. Yeah, you can do anything, whatever you want, or you can sit any kind of disk, whatever you want, and anything. I made them always free during my lessons. And I always use them like in unusual methods, like for the vocabulary.
Yeah, different various methods. Yeah. For example, some teachers use just one method. For example, if you conduct one lesson through one method, your lesson will be very fascinating for students. And then next lesson, teacher also use again this method. It should be boring for them. So according to teacher perspective, we have to change our methods for each lesson.
No, just 1 minute. Our topic is just went to the teaching method, not the English. You see? Yeah. We have to move to learning English. You see?
Okay.
Yeah.
An idea? Yes. When it comes to the learning English or for the students, I always pay attention to vocabulary. I always pay attention to vocabulary for the other study centers, maybe International, maybe Thompson, maybe the Cambridge. But I know that
mention their names.
There are also other study centers or the learning centers who teach students. But I have another method. I spent about more than 20 minutes for the vocabulary.
20 minutes, yeah.
More than 20 minutes, because when they learn a lot of vocabulary that they can easily speak without problem. I also have a student who studies in elementary level. He's speaking very well. Yeah, with accent, and he has a vocabulary, he has everything. Just when I talk to him, oh my God, is he elementary? Yes, he is, I thought to myself. But when he comes to me, his level was at the beginning of the beginner. Just the beginning of the beginner. But today, I saw the result by vocabulary, by learning vocabulary.
Yes, that's the very interesting part of learning. The vocabulary is very important. But according to teacher perspective, I have one question. No, I have 2 questions. So how many words you will give for students for every lesson? Then how can I check their vocabulary? For example, you're gonna give maybe 10 words, and the next lesson you're gonna check them. Yes, how you assess, how you check their learning by heart, the vocabulary, the words.
You answer.
Both of you.
To me, when it comes to my method or the vocabulary teaching method, I always give them 2 units at least.
Approximately how many words?
More or less 50. More or less 50. Yes, 50. More or less 50.
For
every lesson. Yeah, for beginner, for elementary. And like you see, how can I see my result, right? From by learning vocabularies. And like during that time, there are more than like 6 or 7 students in here. I always ask them by order. For example, you don't know the meaning of for example, expensive, right? You didn't know. And like you said, I have also interesting method, but there are like 3 students in here. Like Mr. Schatz, can you tell me the like the translation of the expensive? You say like another word is in Uzbek. At that time, yes, let's move to next one. You see, it's also kind of method. Like he sometimes feel like inspiration, but his words become wrong. You see, and I just jump to like another person. Like, what about you? Like expensive? Yes, expensive. It is like arzon, right? Yes, let's next one also. I use this kind of method, but it's also fun. Not for the kids. It's also far from like older people. As you see, I also had right now like middle-aged people in my class. They also very like it. Like, no.
The emotions, yes.
With intonation. What about you?
Not emotional damage, right?
Yeah.
Emotion. Just here, I also taught the students, but my method was like that. If I give the questions or just words to the students, I always try to teach them by using actions. For example, I went to the school and then I taught the students, agile means chakon, like agile. And the next lesson, when I said to the students, they first remembered my action.
Yeah.
Like that. But yes, agile, chakon, right. So, if you want to teach something, you should be active. It's not all about sitting and then waiting. It's all about using your hands, using your if you cannot learn like this, just stand up. If you cannot learn just standing, walk, run. The best method for me, not my students, if I want to learn a new vocab, I always walk. Then repeating new vocabulary. So I think that the methods are a lot here because everyone just trying to create something new. Because you're also just now teacher, but maybe just 3 years ago you were the student.
Yeah.
Before that you just were the schoolboy, and then you also learned the English by your method. Your teacher say like that, but you try to change it.
Yeah, crazy.
So everyone has their own method in order to teach easily.
Yeah, but let's. I have a question for both of you. Let's come back to our topic, like why English is so important in our life, and also, do you think English is developing day by day in Uzbekistan or Central Asia, and your ideas about it?
May I go first?
Yeah.
Just as I mentioned before, I'm working just at a restaurant. I don't know Russian. That's my mistake, big mistake. But every day we accept more than just 4 Russian people. That time the first word that I tell them just "Здравствуйте," "Добро пожаловать." But if they start speaking in Russian language, I lost my mind. Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know Russian. Can you speak English? They said, yes, I know Russian. I know English. Чуть-чуть. and then I say, that's enough. I realized that now Russian people, middle-aged and older people, they know English. They can just express their ideas by using English language. That's also great for me.
For basic words, right?
Yes,
basic words.
so basic. Just this one.
Yep.
That's all.
This one. I want to drink, right?
Yes.
I really like Indian people also. I drink water.
That's good.
Water. What they say?
Yeah. The same situation happened with me, and a couple of months ago I went to doctor. The doctor spoke in Russian, and the first day I faced difficulties to communicate, and the second day I went to the doctor and I told do you know English? The doctor, chut, a little bit. Okay, at the time I spoke in English, and the first day I had difficulties to communicate in Russian, and the second day the doctor had difficulty to communicate English with me.
Yeah.
At the time I know English very well, but the doctor knows Russian. It's kind of vice versa, but English is so important because doctor knows English a little bit, but it's the possible to communicate with people.
No.
Yes.
Yeah. I have an idea. Let's talk. You.
Yeah.
What did you say?
Yeah. The question is why English important? Yes.
Yeah.
So English is very huge part of our life. For example, I worked at university, as well as we had lots of students. Right now, they are forcing to take language certificates right now because of, for example, after the graduation, they can go different fields like school, like education centers. If don't have any certificates, I mean the language proficiency certificates, they cannot work anywhere.
Yeah.
Because it's a requirement of our government. So as well as, for example, all master students, they need certificate.
Yeah.
Why? Because in the masters, they need some information. They need to find English
International
resources.
information.
Yes, exactly. For example, even we had some taxi drivers, they know English. Because our country is developing day by day, lots of foreigners come to our country to visit. Because and every taxi drivers need to know English.
Yeah.
I think that maybe some time after some years, everybody know English a little bit to communicate with people. Yeah. For example, in Tashkent, everybody communicate with people in Russian.
Exactly.
Yeah. But after 5 years, maybe after 10 years, I think English will be very common among even old generation.
I always have dilemma with Russian.
High dilemma? What is it?
I always have a dilemma. I always have a dilemma. You know what does it mean, dilemma?
Yes, I know.
Yeah. Why? Because everybody in Uzbekistan, also everybody in Tashkent, have to know Russian, must learn Russian. For example, if you want to work in bank, you have to learn Russian. Or if you want to be administrator for any kind of offices, you have to learn at least Uzbek and Russian.
Nowadays it should be English.
Yeah, I know. I also after I got IELTS 7, I visited all the study centers in Tashkent. You see, I visited and they always said that you don't have
Looking for a job?
Yeah, I was looking for a job after I got 7. Yeah, I looked for a job about 3 months. No, I nearly found any kind of learning center names by going there, and all the answers were negative.
Russian.
Yeah, they asked me. Yeah, especially in Cambridge or International, they asked me Russian. The Russian. Why? Russian is so important in our lives, right? And I always have question. We are Uzbek, and Uzbek is a noun. Why do we have to learn Russian? Right? Yeah, I always have a problem with that.
Yes.
Yes, you're right here, but it is unwritten rule of the word.
Yeah.
It's unwritten rule.
I also sorry. I also have problem with that. Imagine just you imagine there are 5 people in the room, and one is Russian, the others Uzbeks, and in one Russian, the other 4 Uzbeks try to speak in Russian.
Yes,
why?
Exactly.
Why?
Because we are Uzbek.
Why? Because we are Uzbek.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why this Russian man don't have to speak in Uzbek? You see? All the Uzbek no sorry. Uzbek try to speak in Russian. Why? I always have question with that.
Yeah.
Why the Russian man talk in Uzbek to the Uzbek people?
Because we respect them.
Yeah.
Because of Soviet Union?
I don't know. Yeah.
This is also just how can I say I couldn't find the answer for this question. This I'm thinking a lot why we should just speak Russian not the Uzbek language.
Yeah.
And then if you cannot Russian language, just they look at like the. It's kind of our blame or just.
No, we don't have to learn Russian.
Yeah, right. The topic was about English.
We are just went off the topic, right?
Yes. We have different ideas.
Now, I want to count the if you take an answer score, if you know the English, the first one. If you have an answer score, you can take higher salary. The first one, he knows very well. Yeah. If you work in school, you know also very well. And then second one, it is easy to find job anywhere.
Yes.
Anywhere. For example, tour guide, or international restaurants as a maybe just waiter or hotels,
yes.
bellboy, receptions, or you can also just
in airports also.
Yes, airport.
Everywhere.
Every
spheres,
door is open for you
if
you know the English.
Yes.
So, have you ever just been translated? The man who knows English, and then that person, his partner also knows the English. Boss also knows the English, but you're here translated. To translate in English. Have you ever been or no?
No.
Just 2 days ago, I said to you, I went to the airport. My chef's English is not enough good to understand. You should speak slowly. For example, chef, we should go. No, chef, we should go. All right, chef. It's time to eating. No, it's time to eating. We went to the airport and then just the lady to sit in the check-in said, our chef, alright, do you have a check-in, right? Chef is looking at me. What she said? You have a translation song, right? You should read, right? He said, yes, right. And then she's also taking it. Just take all your bag, put it here. What is he saying? And then I said to him, just carry your bag, put it here, like this, with body language.
Most of them knows English, right?
Yes. And then that lady just, wanted to laugh, but she didn't, because she's also speaking English, I'm also speaking English, he knows also English, but here I'm translated. That's kind of...
You are also a dealer in here. Dealer, What does it mean?
Yeah, just...
Dallal.
So, but people around just us know enough English for themselves. Not just advanced, not just B2, but they can express their feelings by words.
Okay.
What about the other topics? That's
how much time should be your podcast?
About 40 minutes.
40 minutes.
Yeah. It's
what
cool.
About
it's cool.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I also know about the podcasts. They're more than 1.5 hour more than.
What do you think? Why English is difficult for Uzbek learners?
Why?
It's not difficult.
Yeah, I don't think so.
It's not difficult.
It's not difficult.
Yeah.
You don't have to, you have.
They have that idea that English is very difficult because all students come to first lesson. They have one idea. English is very important because the pronunciation is very difficult. Why? Written version and pronunciation, they are not similar, different. For example, yes, school and the written version is kind of different. Yeah, this is also one phobia. Let's say idea that's very wrong for them. So at the time you have to rectify them. For example, every class, if you have students, they have misunderstanding, some problems, some mistakes in English, it is your fault because you're teacher. Teacher is the king of the classroom. You can create everything for them. You should learn their students' needs, their identity, their everything that should be very easy for them. For example, in a class, if we're gonna talk about one, for example, let's say general English classes, yes? We don't talk about technology. Technology is a very important topic, but they don't have any idea about technology. They know English, they have enough vocabulary, they have some ideas, but ideas are not relevant for the technology. At the time, they cannot improve their language. So we have to observe the students, we have to analyze them, what kind of things they need, their age as well, everything we have to consider about identities. Yes, identity should be very important. So at that time, English can be very easy for them. For example, you are into sport, you are into cooking. Okay, we're gonna choose this kind of topics in a lesson. For example, if we talk about cooking, because your girl has lots of idea about cooking, and also he wants to share ideas with maybe some mistakes, some of the problems, etc. In the next lesson, we have another topic about the sport. Yes, it's very interesting. But if we discuss today coronavirus, we have lots of ideas. We don't know about the coronavirus, like the terminology, like topic-based vocabulary. So at the time, students, no, I have no idea. This kind of thing does only stop students.
Just cut the topic.
Yeah. I think it's very easy. It depends on teacher. You have to create very interesting and fascinating tasks. Productive lesson for them. It should be very easy. And every lesson you have to tell the students English is very easy. You have to give the motivation as well.
I also taught the student in the dormitory, and then many of the students asked me how can I improve my speaking. They said to me, my grammar is good, my vocab is good, just everything is good.
Because you are lazy.
But I have no speaking skill. And I said to them, just don't panic, guys. You're Uzbek, you are not native. And then, when we speak English, if you find the person who knows the English, but as a time, you should always speak in Uzbek language. That's right or no?
Yeah.
That's right. And then I also said that if you go to university, you have many people, just make your conversation just interesting with them. But when you're just sitting in your room, when you go to your family, you cannot speak with your mother or father. So they don't know. And then they said to me, what should we do? And I said, just talk with yourself.
Yeah.
Just ask.
It's very,
Give a question and answer yourself. Yeah. That's the key. But if you have this partner like this guy or like you, that's not difficult to improve at the room or just together. But if you don't have, you can be just shining example, improve your speaking. Or ChatGPT. What about ChatGPT? I really like.
No, I don't like it.
Why?
I
don't like.
Yeah.
I love it.
ChatGPT is my wife. Right now. Okay, I have one thing. You mentioned that at university we're gonna use English, yes? Yeah. So it's very interesting. Do you speak English at university?
Yeah, sure.
With the course mates and teachers?
Yeah, you know that I can say that more than 5 students who are studying with me, they have C1. So I also live it with them together at the same room. That time we made one rule: if you speak Uzbek language, you should pay 1,000 some. That time that was kind of notion in my mind, and then now if I go to university, I will talk with them in English language.
But
others speak to me Uzbek, but I will answer in English.
Not many people speak in English. Yeah, but I also, as you said, I think at university everybody knows that I got IELTS C1, IELTS 7. All the time I receive a question like, how
did you get it?
No. How can I improve my speaking? How can I improve my writing? How can I improve my reading? How can I improve my listening? And I always have one rule.
Go to Achieve Learning.
No. It's not an advertisement. I have just one rule and one simple advice to the people who are learning English. For the first thing is if you want to learn if you want to improve your speaking, you can improve your speaking by speaking. Yes. It's only the simple rule. If you want to improve your reading, you can read your reading. You can improve your reading by reading. Simple rule.
Yes, sir.
That's a big problem.
Speaking is speaking. Writing
Yeah. Listening by listening.
English is English.
It's very simple rule.
Just when I just took my first mock, my listening was 5.5, and then I went to my teacher, I gave a question, and my listening is so poor, how can I improve it? He said to me, you should do more listening.
You should listen.
The same word,
simple rule
with him. And then, this is the kind of notion in Uzbekistan. Teachers is a person who is above all the student and then all the people. They know everything. They can give everything in detail. That moment, I was shocked. You should do more listening.
Yeah, no rule.
And then
advanced rule.
And then next question was like that. How? Teacher said to me, just
by
make
listening.
Dictations, listen podcasts, watch films, and then make full practice. After that, analyze. It's not all about listening. I can say that he's completely right here, but students and the learners should know how to do speaking, how to just do listening. They don't know. It's not all about speaking. It's about learning vocab. It's about learning vocab and grammar, and then at the same time use it. For example, today you learn present continuous. Present continuous is about if you do something at the same right now, and you can use present continuous.
But my method is really cool and useful because you can also easily receive any kind of question. You can easily get any kind of answer to their question. Too easy. Reading by reading, listening by listening, and writing by writing, speaking by speaking, and that's enough. For the listening, you have to listen to podcast. Yeah. For the speaking, you have to speak, or you have to find one person.
But they have to find very relevant techniques to improve, listening. For example, everybody can listen to any podcast, but they cannot improve their listening. Yeah. So at the time, we had lots of podcasts and other recordings. So we have to choose one strategy, the techniques that should be very helpful for us to improve listening. For example, just only listening to songs, listening to podcasts, I think they are not enough.
Yes, kind of tedious, right?
Yeah. Not the podcast, especially the movies. Or
everything. For example, if you watch a movie in English, so how can you improve your listening skill?
Yeah, you
just only watching and listening to the
by actions.
No, yes, it's kind of correct, but we have to follow one strategy, one techniques. For example, just only when I was a kid, at the time I watched English movies, and also every day I choose one technique. So for example, in this movie, just only I find adjectives. And also, for example, if the one main character spoke beautiful, I wrote beautiful. It's interesting. Yeah. Just only at the time I collected adjectives, and the next day I collected nouns, and next lesson and the next day I collected verbs. It's also one technique, because at the time just only you pay attention, just only adjectives, and beautiful. This is adjective I'm gonna write. At the time you're gonna learn the adjective as well as their pronunciation. It's also, I think, is a technique.
O'zbekchaga bilan nimani bir 2-3 minutgacha oliqib.
Qaysi pointni berish hozir point
Speaking,
writing. Hozir nima dedingiz? Bu kishilarni gapiringiz.
Strategiya demadi. Любойcha o'rganaversin deyapti.
Nima deb qo'shmoqchiman? Yomon narsa keldi.
Qaytib ketdimi?
Yomon keldi degansiz.
Nima dedim men o'zi?
Yaxshi gapirdi.
Strategiya bo'lish kerak-da, baribir emas.
Yo'q, kinolarda mimikalar orqali o'rgansa bo'ladi. Kinolar shu haqida emasmi?
I also want something to his ideas. He said just you can learn by watching the movies. He's right. I also don't know all the words what I'm watching. For example, he's right here. The actions also can give key to. For example, all right, guys, don't panic. Don't panic means just no worries, right? Don't panic. And then You also said like that many people just give question, how can I improve this one? How can I improve this one? They always wait one answer, you know. The answer is, I can say in Uzbek language, kinda sihirli damlama. Guys, don't worry. You cannot find this kind of sihirli damlama. It's all about hard working. It's all about just studying hard. It's not just structure. And then general English is strong enough, you can do everything. The last lesson, one of the students asked me, what is general English, what's arts? And I asked, do you have a book? She said, yes, I have. Your book is general English, your notebook is just arts.
Thank you.
It's all about structure.
Thank you for your ideas. There is that time. There is that time, like we have to finish. Yeah, this is your camera. We have to finish our topic. I think it was more interesting for all of us, right? And I really liked it. And if you want to watch the second part, just wait us.
Yeah.
And see you.
And then I think that you should ask your subscribers, next video will be about what?
Yeah.
If you write the topic, we will discuss again.
Give us your suggestion to the comments.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you all of you, Mr. Shukrat.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Uzbek. Thank you for coming. Just down.
Thank you.
And camera low drums. Allez,